Welcome back. Well, South Africa awaits the remains of struggle stalwarts Moses Kotane and JB Marks. Arts and Culture Minister Nathi Mththwa is in Moscow in Russia to bring back the remains. Kotane and Marks left South Africa for Russia in 1963, where they were lobbying the international community to support the fight against apartheid. Both died in the 1970s in Moscow after short illnesses. Now, joining us from Moscow is our correspondent, Ms. Anya Ardayeva. Anya, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us here on PM News. All right. Now, Anya, great news for the families as well as, of course, the South Africans in general. But please tell us how far the preparations to repatriate the remains of JB Marks and Moses Kotane are at this stage, Anya.
That's right. Two ceremonies took place in Moscow this morning to commemorate Moses Kotane and JB Marks, who, as you mentioned, died in Russia after short illnesses in the 1970s and were buried in Moscow. The Minister of Arts and Culture, Nathi Mththwa, as well as a number of other officials and family members, took part in a small ceremony at Moscow's Novodevichy Cemetery this morning. This was a very small yet very impressive ceremony, and participants laid a wreath to the graves of the two activists. Then soon after that, the South African delegation moved to another ceremony where a memorial service was held, and the family members and the minister then addressed the group, and then candles were lit as part of the Russian Orthodox ceremony. And as we know, President Jacob Zuma and Russian President Vladimir Putin agreed to repatriate the remains in August of last year. And speaking to the media before his trip to Russia, Nathi Mththwa said that Kotane and Marks, quote, will be remembered as heroes of our liberation struggle who were instruments of national unity, peace, and bringing our diverse people together to build one human family in one country. The remains are expected to leave Moscow on Saturday and will arrive in South Africa on Monday. Back to you.
All right. Now, Anya, just take us back in history a little bit here. Why were the stalwarts buried in Moscow?
Well, they were in Moscow for a number of reasons, and partly this was to popularize the South African struggle for independence. And they certainly had made a big impression on a number of Russian people who remember them very well. We spoke yesterday to one of the Communist Duma lawmakers, the lawmakers of the Russian House, lower house of parliament, the Duma, who said that he and along with another hundreds of people came to the cemetery every year to commemorate Moses Kotane and JB Marks. So certainly they've left a lot of legacy in Russia, and many people here told us, who were part of the ceremony this morning as well, told us that they will be missed and that it's a shame that they're leaving Russia, although people here understand that it's important for the families to bring the remains back to South Africa. In fact, the son of Moses Kotane, Sam Kotane, told us this morning that it's very important for the family to bring the remains to the place of origin, and also that his father was a fighter for freedom. It is important for the family that he is buried in a free country.
And Anya, before I let you go, please tell us about the negotiations that actually led to the repatriation of the stalwarts.
Well, this negotiation was in the works for some time, but eventually this decision was made last August, as I mentioned, during a meeting of South African President Jacob Zuma and Russian President Vladimir Putin. And Jacob Zuma ordered the Ministry of Arts and Culture to be responsible for the repatriation of the remains. And as we see, this process has been launched, and it's something that is already happening and taking place right now.
Thank you so much for that. That was SABC correspondent Anya Ardayeva, all the way in Moscow in Russia, where the Department of Arts and Culture is preparing to repatriate struggle stalwarts remains back to South Africa on Saturday.